Hello, good people. This is Project Explained, and welcome back to our subscribers. And welcome for you who has not yet subscribed. You're missing out. So kindly subscribe so that you can be able to be part of this community and get to learn in this awesome channel that we talk about boreholes, we talk about projects, we talk about everything that involves projects. Yeah, so guys, as the title of the video suggests, we are going to be talking about things you need to know and documents you need to have to apply for a water resource authority authorization to drill in Kenya, specifically in Kenya. So the info I have is specifically for Kenya. So you're there and you have an idea, you want to do a borehole and you don't know the steps that you need to take. Yeah, so I'm going to take you back to the inception and where it all starts. Yeah, we've done other videos about boreholes, but now I want to get you back to where it all starts, and it is in where you yourself as the client or whoever wants to know about boreholes need to start. So you need to start by doing something called an hydrological survey, and for you to do that, there is one thing that is constant and it's something that everyone needs, and that is land. So any borehole that exists on land. So you need to have land so that you can be able to get a borehole. Yeah. So the first thing you need to have is land. So what are the documents that Water Resource Authority usually recommends and ask you as mandatory requirements for you to apply for an authorization to drill? First thing you need to have is the survey report. So in this survey report, you need to engage an hydrogeologist to come to your land, do a deck study and get data and make sure he locates a point in your farm that he or she has preferred, and the scientific evidence and the scientific formula that he has used to locate the water is in that report. So that is the first thing, and the report should compose of a lot of things. In this report, first, the hydrological report should have the name of the client, the address of the client, the name of the investigating geologist, the company, signed and stamped by a registered hydrogeologist. So that's what you get in the first page of an hydrological survey. And you also need to get the location of the land where the client is to drill. You also need to get a sketch of how to access that land from maybe a public road to where the land is, and even point out the borehole location itself. You also need, inside that report, you also need to get the deck study and the data that has been used to arrive to that decision of drill this borehole at this point and at this depth. So this data may be from the imaging, PWQT, maybe from a VES, maybe from a seismic assessment for borehole investigation. So all that data should be in the hydrological survey report. You also need to get the recommendations. Yes, the hydrologist needs to recommend a certain depth, a minimum and a maximum, and the size of the borehole that you're going to do. So with those things in the survey report is now a complete document, and that's what you use to apply for your authorization to drill. So that's document number one, a signed hydrological survey report with all those things that I have told you it should have. And most importantly, I've forgotten to tell you, you also need coordinates, the exact coordinates of the borehole location point that he or she has pointed out. So you need coordinates in that survey report. Now then you go to the point number two, and this is another mandatory document that you need to apply for an authorization to drill from Water Resource Authority, and it's a copy of your KRA pin. Yes, if you're Kenyan, you are over 18, you need to have a KRA pin, so you need to get a copy of your KRA pin, and also you also need to get a copy of your ID that should accompany that application. And the most important is your land document. You need to have a land document proving ownership of the land. It need to be a title deed or a sale agreement. And for you to note if it's a sale agreement, it has to be accompanied by a sworn affidavit showing that that's your land. Yeah, so guys, I think those are the four standard documents: the survey report, copy of your KRA pin, copy of your ID, and a copy of the land document. So if you have those documents, now you can be able to apply for an authorization to drill for a borehole, and these boreholes usually come in different categories. So we are going to break down the categories that you can apply for, and the most recommended category is category B for home use, and the one that has motorized pumps. So let's get to it. I have a schedule here that I'm going to take it up there, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean. Yeah, so here we go, and we have the WRA ball application categories, the uses, the documents required, and the fees and the pumps that you should install. So in category number A, you have there category number A, typical use of the borehole. This should be a domestic or a basic use borehole, and it should be in a single household or a small family use or a very small community. And the type of pump recommended for this borehole is a hand pump and a very small submersible pump with less than 2 horsepower. But mostly you are actually not allowed to put a motorized pump in category A. So what do you need to apply? The required document is you need to apply and fill in the WRA 001 application form. You also need to get a pole completion record, that is for application for the abstraction, and you also need to get a consent from Water Resource Authority, no, Water Users Association, which is RUA. And the fees that do accompany this application is the 2,000. There's a permit that is for 5 years, 1,000, and a renewal of 1,000. That is for category A, and that's for small household. And actually, it's not recommended to have motorized pumps. In the category B, you'll have now institution and medium use. And this is now for an household that most Kenyans usually have. If you have an apartment, you have a school, a church, a small business, or small farms, category B will be good for you, and you can either apply for domestic, agricultural, or commercial for category B. So what you need and the type of pump that is recommended for category B, it is a submersible pump that is in between 2 and 5 horsepower, but mostly people do more than that, but you get that approval. And you can also do solar pumps in category B. And the required documents for this is you fill the application form 001 of WRA. You also need to do an hydrological survey. You also need to do an EIA, that is the NEMA, environmental impact assessment, and you also need to have a georeference map of that area. That's why I told you need coordinates in your survey report for application. So in category B, it's mandatory. You need to have a georeference map for that, so that WRA can be able to tell where exactly is this ball located, and they'll be able to zone it in terms of where in Kenya, which county it lies to, which sub-county, which region, which catchment area is it at. So they're able to tell. And the applications are 20,000 for application of Water Resource Authority authorization to drill, and you also have a permit that is called the abstraction permit that you pay for 25,000. It's 5 years, and when it comes to renewal, you renew it at 45,000 Kenya shillings. So this is the most used borehole category in Kenya. And now you go to category C, which is now commercial and large scale. And this is for large farms, estates, commercial irrigation, and industrial, but in a minimum scale or a medium scale. And you need to install pumps that are in between 5 and 15 horsepower, but you can do more. They can be either diesel, electric generator, or solar. And the documents you need for this application is a WRA 001 form. You need an hydrological report, full technical report. Now this is different from category B. Category B, you don't need a technical report, but category C, you need a full technical report done by a registered hydrogeologist, someone who knows what he is doing. And you need to also have an EIA report and get the NEMA license for that. And the application fees for this is 40,000 category C, and you get a permit for abstraction at 50,000 and renewal at 90,000 Kenya shillings. Yeah, that is for category B. C, that is C, commercial and large scale. And now you go to the creme de la creme, and this is the big boys club. Now this is category D, where you get very large farms. this is a high yield risk borehole, and this is mostly done by water companies, large factories, irrigation scheme, large industry supplies, and the type of pump that is recommended is anything above 15 horsepower. You can also do booster pumps and multiple pump systems to do this pumping of this borehole. So at category D, the required documents you need also to fill its standard in all categories to fill in the 001 of Water Resource Authority, and you need the hydrological survey report. Then you need a full technical report under the fourth schedule. Yes, so this is very technical, and you also need to get a detailed EIA report and a georeference map for this borehole. And the fees that do accompany this is the application fee is 80,000, and the permit valid for 5 years is 100,000, and the renewal fee is 180,000 Kenya shillings. So that's it for the categories that you do apply. And for water use, you can do either domestic, agricultural, commercial. Guys, so guys, there are scenarios that usually find yourself in these applications. You can either apply as an individual, you can either apply as multiple individuals, you can also apply as an institution or a company. Now, do vary, and the documents that are usually recommended and are usually asked for are different when it comes to these applications. So, when you are applying as an individual, you just need the survey report, the signed copy survey report with what we said, all the details in it. You also need a copy of your land document, that is the title or a lease, and if it's a lease, as we said, should accompany an affidavit, and you need your KRA pin and your ID copy. That is if you're applying as an individual, and you must be above 18 years of age. That is. Now, if you go to multiple, so if you want to do a borehole, or you had bought land and you are like a couple of guys, like in a chama, and the title reads different names, like you have 4 guys in that title. So this application will be done in 4 names, or you can do 2 names or 1 name. But if you have 4 names and you want to do 1 name in the authorization, the other 4 of you have to do a power of attorney and basically appoint that one person to have the power to transact on their behalf. But if all of them want to be in that document, that is the authorization, you need to have the land documents in all their names. You also need to get a sworn affidavit confirming they are the owners, and you also need to have all of them, their IDs and their copy of KRA pins, and the report should also read all the 4 names. Yeah, so that is category. And if you want to apply as multiple individuals, and if it's an institution or a company, you need to have the survey report itself, you need to have the copy of the land title, you need to, in the name of the institution, you also need to get a copy of the KRA pin of that institution. And when it comes now to the ID, you do not attach an ID for an institution. There is no ID for an institution. You get an incorporation certificate for an institution. So if it's a company, you have to attach an incorporation certificate. Yeah, so that's are the 3 scenarios. And just in case these land documents do not have a title, remember, as we said, you need to get an affidavit, and you also need to get a letter from your local area chief to confirm that you guys are the ones who own that land, or you are the one who own that land, or is the company that owns that land. So you need to get a sworn affidavit and a letter from your chief. Yes, so guys, and these documents, as they will be copies, it is best to have them certified as true copies. Okay, and guys, now at that, you'll now apply your authorization to drill via eCitizen. Nowadays it's done online, so you'll apply, you'll create an account, then you follow the prompts and attach all the recommended documents, and then you wait after you've paid for your applications. Now, there are also other things that are required and I need to take you back. There are also things that are also required, like in some counties, you'll need to have a no objection. Yes, so there's a letter called a no objection from a water service provider from your area. So if it is recommended, it is where applicable. If it is applicable, you attach it. If it's not applicable, there's some counties or some catchment areas that do not have that no objection. But like in Nairobi, you need to get a no objection so that you can be able to apply for that authorization. And after authorization is out, now that's when you apply for a NEMA license. And we are going to cover NEMA or EIA as its own in another different video. So guys, now you've processed your permit and it's out, and there is another requirement. You need to do your works within 12 to 13 months after the issue of that authorization. So if you delay and you take more than the 12 months, you also need to renew again. There's a fee, I think it's 7,500 for that, so that you can be able to again get another authorization that is renewed and for you to drill that borehole. So guys, that has been it. I hope it has been informative, and as I told you, this is class and it is educational. So guys, if you feel this is content that really helps you, kindly support the channel by liking the video, and kindly support by subscribing. Let's build a community so that whenever we post a video, we have people who are in the same line and wants to know what exactly we are up to. So guys, I would love to get suggestions from you. Tell me what kind of video you want, what other area do you want us to cover. I have so much things I want us to do, but you can also help me out and tell me what you want us to cover in the next video. So I'm expecting a lot of engagement in the comment section. Let's talk, let's know what's happening, and I'll really appreciate. So guys, thank you for watching, and kindly support, subscribe, and peace out. Love you guys.